Officials from the two Koreas are sitting down as we speak to begin discussions on the details for resuming reunions for families separated since the Korean War. The reunions, if held, would be the first in more than 3 years. For more, we're going to connect to our correspondent Hwang Sung-hee at the Unification Ministry. So, Sung-hee, a huge day ahead. What details do we have right now?
Good morning, Mark. Today's working level talks were scheduled to begin at around 10 a.m. Korea time, so officials from both sides will be engaged in discussions about now. Departing for the truce village of Panmunjom earlier this morning, the head of the South Korean delegation told reporters that he would try to bring home some good news for the divided family members by reaching a positive agreement today. The two sides may have a long day ahead of them, though, as they will be sorting out the details, such as the date and the location of the reunion. While South Korea had earlier proposed holding the event from February 17th to the 22nd at North Korea's Mount Kumgang Resort, this may not be a viable option anymore, as officials in Seoul say they need at least 2 weeks to prepare. Now, another issue is that North Korea will most likely want to push back the date to sometime after joint military drills between South Korea and the United States, which is scheduled to begin late this month. Experts say the North could make a counter-proposal to hold the reunion after the key resolve and full legal exercises, which end in April. Mark?
Yes, well, it seems to be the way, unfortunately, but we've seen North Korea back out of agreements many times in the past. Is there a vibe that Pyongyang might once again have a sudden change of heart and scrap plans for the reunions?
Mark, that's a very difficult question to answer because, of course, North Korea is one of the most unpredictable regimes in the world. But yes, we have seen North Korea break its promises many times before. And in fact, we just saw last year North Korea walk out of its agreement to hold family reunions at the very last minute, which was a disappointment to many divided family members. Experts that I've spoke with say such a scenario is very likely this time around as well. That is, if South Korea and the United States push ahead with their joint military drills. They say the North may call off the reunions and blame it on the South for sticking to its aggressive nature despite North Korea's willingness to improve relations. Seoul maintains that humanitarian issues like the family reunions should be dealt with separately from military drills. So there is still a tug-of-war going on between the two Koreas, and we are still uncertain about North Korea's motives. But one thing to keep in mind is that hundreds of thousands of divided families are waiting to reunite for the first time in more than 6 decades, and time is running out for these very elderly divided family members to see their loved ones again one last time. Mark?
Yes, it really would be terribly sad if for the families if the reunions got called off again. We'll keep our fingers crossed that the two sides can reach some kind of solid agreement to hold the reunions. Well, thank you very much for your report, Sung-hee. That was our Hwang Sung-hee reporting on the working level talks between the Koreas on resuming the long-suspended family reunions. And we'll be checking back in with her again during our next newscast at noon Korea time.